car after car sunk in water up to the windshield or higher. One of the signs of the historic flooding that slammed Houston. Ahead, where some of those stranded by high water had to stay. How many rescue crews have formed, and where all that rain is now.
And this is the other danger some of you will be facing. Tornadoes. This one touched down in southeast Texas, where more could spin up in the south, the heartland, and even into the northeast. We'll keep you ahead of the danger right now on Weather Center Live.
Hi, and thanks for joining us here on Weather Center Live. I'm Nick Walker.
And I'm Julie Martin. The scenes out of Houston are incredible, even unbelievable. Roads leading to nowhere because they're covered with water. Cars stranded on what were roadways. More than 80,000 people losing power after record-setting rain pushed at least 2 bayous out of their banks and into the streets, neighborhoods, and homes. Floodwaters also stretch all through I-10 and 45. Some are calling this the worst flooding to hit Houston in 30 years.
Okay, here's what we know right now. At least 2 people died in the flooding that hit Houston late last night and early this morning. And it's not just Houston that's affected. DFW International closed a runway due to a sinkhole that's opened up adjacent to that runway. Crews are making repairs. And in Texas alone, the governor has issued a disaster declaration for 37 counties because of storm trouble this month. Okay, Julie, show us where the rain is right now and where we could see it later on today as we continue to see pictures like this coming in of roadways completely washed away.
Yeah, we're continuing on with that live picture of Houston right now. That car, you see there, well, at least 3 cars completely submerged in water. A lot of onlookers, and looks like the fire rescue folks perhaps over off to the side working to perhaps recover, or it does not look like an ongoing rescue scene here. But nonetheless, this is what we're dealing with in Houston throughout the city after this historic flood that has just caused so much devastation and heartbreak in this city. In fact, the first flood emergency here since Hurricane Ike back in 2008. I was there for that storm. I remember it well. Flooding always a big issue when the hurricanes come through, but not in this case. This was all pure rainfall. And we saw a lot of it. In fact, as much as 10 inches plus, both to the east and to the west of the city of Houston, where just the situation continues to evolve and unfold, and the stories are still emerging from the devastation there. So when will we get some improvement there? That's the big question. Taking a look now at Houston, still under a flash flood alert, a flash flood watch for Houston down into Galveston, and this continuing throughout the day today, though we should not see much more rainfall coming through the greater Houston area. You certainly don't need any more. As I mentioned, look at this. The areas in purple you see here on the map, that is over 10 inches of rain. That is in a 1-day period, a 24-hour period. There you see it over there near League City as well. Houston getting anywhere from, say, 5 to 7 inches of rain, all in a matter of 24 hours. So just incredible, unprecedented rain totals here. Brays Bayou at the Beltway, 10.4, almost 10.5 inches. Keegan's Bayou around 8.6. The numbers just go on and on here. Piney Point Village, 7 3/4. We are looking at some incredible images. Look at this. Come to your TV right now. This is a look at Houston downtown before the flooding. And as I click through, you'll see what it looks like now. Just an unbelievable picture, just stunning, really, when you look at the difference a day has made here in the city of Houston. So here's a look at some of the storm reports. Still looking at the flash flooding in and around the area. Creeks and bayous coming up out of their banks, and some of those rivers also certainly approaching catastrophic levels as well. Taking a look at Buffalo Bayou right now. We are still at major flood stage, 32.43. We were up at around 33.7 feet. The record, so we didn't quite make it there for good. That is at least a silver lining, Nick. We wouldn't want to be up near 50 feet. That's for sure. They don't need any more of that.
We'll take whatever silver lining we can get, that's for sure. Thanks so much, Julie. Well, we've got that threat of severe weather as well as the flooding, and I want to show you the visible satellite. This is just as if you were to take a video camera up in space and shoot down on the Earth. Shows you this upper-level trough that we still see here. Also, abundant moisture coming into play to feed these thunderstorms, and that line of thunderstorms that affected Houston this morning, now moving through Alabama and into Georgia, and it's really held up. A lot of lightning with this. That's one threat. That's one danger that you need to, remove yourself from, get inside. But we also have the chances of severe weather with this too. And in fact, we do have a warning right here in South Georgia. This for Early and Miller County. You need to make sure you get inside a sturdy building. There could be some damaging wind with this. Maybe some hail. Maybe as much as an inch hail there. And as we track this, we'll continue to see it move into Macedonia, probably by 110 in Hentown and 112 at Cuba. So these are the areas that this is headed. Atlanta, you could get some thunderstorms coming into your area very, very soon. Some of them now in the outer counties already beginning to invade. And toward the north, lots of heavy rain moving toward Milwaukee and Chicago, aided and abetted by that upper level system. Julie?
All right, Nick, as we mentioned just a moment ago, parts of Houston started the day underwater. NBC's Janet Shamlian shows us what it looks like along one of the city's key roadways.
Houston is still underwater right now. Let me show you Memorial Drive, which is an artery into the city. You can see that it's under as much as 13 feet of water. Take a look at that 18-wheeler. A man and a woman were stuck in it overnight. Within the last hour or two, Houston Fire Department came with a boat and got both of them out safely. That's one of more than 130 rescues that they've done so far since midnight. They have another 100 or so to go. This is historic flooding in Houston. Let me show you the rest of Memorial Drive. It's completely underwater. Looks like now about 12 feet. If you see it, there's traffic going on Shepherd, but below it is Memorial. That's an artery going into downtown Houston. No one is going there today. In fact, many businesses have shut down. Houston public schools are shut down. Public transport is not operating today. The mayor has asked everyone to stay home. This is a flood like Houston hasn't seen for many decades. Back to you.
Thank you, Janet. Taking you back now live to Houston. Just unbelievable live pictures coming out of what is the worst flooding there in years. There you see, it looks like a home underwater. And what is that?
Oh, look at this. These are rescuers trying to find people, I guess.
Lennox makes the most energy efficient system you can find, which means the appliance you use the most will also save you the most.
For more information, contact your local Lennox dealer.
It starts with a subtle wave, then builds into soft fingers, lifting sails and spirits. Nothing makes us feel more alive than a summer breeze, drifting with us on the water, chasing us through the trees, and playing along the whole day. In the Great Lakes Bay region, the summer breeze is blowing. Where it's headed is Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
Your heart is precious. One of many ways to support its health is new True Heart from One A Day. It's the only heart health supplement with ingredients to both help lower bad cholesterol and support healthy blood pressure, and also includes CoQ10. Try new True Heart.
The most legendary name in paint is now at Lowe's.
What is his name?
Oh, it's HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams.
Is he more famous than me?
It's the name everyone wants on their wall.
Well, now there's room for all of us.
Sure.
Back to the happy tree?
But nothing looks better on ceilings either.
Come again?
So if you're looking for the most legendary name in paint...
What?
I said if you're...
I can't hear you.
Never mind. HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams is now at Lowe's.
Time to sweat, boys. Big time. Let's get this thing right. This is my one shot.
I have made fire!
Fat Guys in the Woods. The new season starts June 7th, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. High 87. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early, low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Here we go. I told you we're going to bust out of this drought.
Keep watching with us this morning because we're all watching history together.
Are you missing out on life because you're putting off neck or back surgery? Call Laser Spine Institute, the leader in minimally invasive spine surgery, to learn how a less than 1-inch incision can have you up and walking within a few hours of surgery, free from chronic back pain, and with no hospital stay and no lengthy recovery. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with spinal stenosis, bulging or herniated disc, sciatica, or other chronic conditions, call today for your MRI review.
There were times my boss would send me home because I was in excruciating pain. Going to Laser Spine Institute, I go in, I have the procedure, and walk out a changed person, good to go back to work. I can't tell you how much happier I am. It's changed my life completely.
If you've been told you might need neck or back surgery, call 1-855-450-BACK for your MRI review.
Laser Spine Institute, a less than 1-inch incision, a lifetime of standing tall.
As the host of a popular home improvement show, I know a lot about finding a great contractor for home repairs and improvement projects. Now there's HomeAdvisor.com, a free service that matches your project to top local service professionals.
We didn't have to do any work other than say what we needed. Just 1, 2, 3, I found my guy and everything was smooth.
And it's always free to use.
We've had nothing but fabulous every single time.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com now to get started on your next project.
Home Advisor. Boy, it was a rude awakening in Houston this morning. The folks around Houston woke up to floodwaters inundating the city and surrounding areas. Now, hours after those storms have passed, we're still dealing with the flooding. We are looking at water rescues right now from the catastrophic flooding. Folks who have been stranded in their homes or in their cars. Lots of different places they're being rescued this morning from. And this appears to be city workers who are out and about acting as the rescuers. No doubt every single person is just being brought in to help the people here. Obviously the emergency workers, the city workers, everyone doing their part because there are so many people in dire need of rescue even hours after these storms have passed. Just amazing. Well, the storms now out of Houston, well out of there, and now making their way eastward. And as they do, they've really held their own, haven't they? We're seeing heavy rainfall inundate Alabama, and now severe weather coming into play here in both Georgia and in Alabama. A new warning for Houston and Jackson counties, this in Alabama. Ashford, Dothan, and Marianna under the warnings here for the possibility of hail and damaging winds. Big Creek, you need to be on your guard here. We'll track this as it moves toward the north. Ashford, Dothan by 12:34. You could see this storm right over you. And Kenzie by 12:45, by 12:54. We'll continue to see that move northward. Now, Early and Miller counties here in Georgia also under warnings for the possibility of large hail, damaging winds. Severe weather is going to be part of this scenario, as well as the heavy and flooding rains. Old Damascus, in just a few minutes, it's going to be moving over you. Cuba by 1:12, so you be on your guard here for the next several minutes. There's a lot of lightning with these thunderstorms, obviously, and that is going to be one of the big dangers. Flooding, also a possibility, as we've had rain rates of maybe 1 inch per hour or so here just to the south of Montgomery as these thunderstorms come into play here. We'll continue to see these move off toward the northeast, invading areas around Georgia, Atlanta. You'll probably be seeing them before too long. long as well. So a lot of areas being inundated with water today, being inundated with lightning, and the possibility of severe weather. We're seeing that now to the west of Atlanta, thunderstorms beginning to erupt. Julie?
Nick, we want to get right back now live to Houston, where just incredible scenes are unfolding as we speak. This is live video from KPRC, and we have just witnessed what looks to be city workers picking up people in a city truck. This looks like it could be some sort of city service vehicle, and literally driving them to safety away from these floodwaters. I saw at least 6 people in the back of this truck being lifted in. They obviously were looking fatigued and waterlogged, and as you would expect, probably frightened after this ordeal that they have had to endure here in the city of Houston, where we know at least 2 people have died in these floods. They are historic. We also know of schools being canceled there. People are being urged right now to stay home, stay off of the streets for good reason, as you can see. And we also know that an 18-wheeler, we have reports of a couple being rescued from an 18-wheeler after having to spend the night in that 18-wheeler in floodwaters. Just one of many stories emerging from this devastation here in Houston. Again, watching now live, people being hauled away in a city vehicle in the back of this truck after being picked up and plucked out of the floodwaters here in the city of Houston. We'll see neighborhood after neighborhood here underwater, and this is not a river, folks. This is flooding you're looking at live.
And what impresses me, Julie, is that obviously this is a vehicle, and these are rescuers who wouldn't normally, you know, in their everyday jobs be put in the position of having to rescue people. But obviously they're bringing in every vehicle they can, every worker they can to do this huge job.
When I'm out in the hot sun, I know how to hydrate on the inside. But what about my skin?
Coppertone Sports Sunscreen puts a breathable layer on your skin to help keep it hydrated by holding in natural moisture while providing protection from harmful UV rays.
Game on.
Coppertone Sport.
Devour food that's good for you. The same way you devour food that's not good for you.
Hi, I'm Ty Pennington. You know, to build your dream home, you need tools. And the most important tool of all is a low mortgage rate from Guaranteed Rate. Visit Guaranteed Rate online today. In minutes, you can get a free rate quote, see your credit score, and print a letter of pre-approval to go shop for your new home, all at no cost to you. Or you can simply call, and Guaranteed Rate will guide you through the process.
After 4 really bad experiences with mortgage companies, I went to Guaranteed Rate, and the difference was really night and day.
We were going to rent. That was the going-in plan, but the rate was so low at Guaranteed Rate that we ended up buying.
What are you waiting for? Get a low rate from Guaranteed Rate today and experience firsthand the amazing customer service that has made Guaranteed Rate one of the country's top 10 and most trusted mortgage lenders. Call them today.
Call 888-296-3300 or visit grloans.com.
Time to sweat, boys. Big time. Let's get this thing right.
I have made fire!
Fat Guys in the Woods. The new season starts June 7th, only on the Weather Channel.
It is a weak man who urges compromise.
The Cadillac 2015 SRX. Current GM lessees can lease it from around $339 per month. Visit AutoNation Cadillac and Ed Morse Cadillac Delray.
I want to know what's going to happen to me after I die.
You and everybody else who ever lived.
But the difference is, I have the resources to find out.
You want answers as much as I do, Dr. Tyler. Maybe more.
Brought to you locally by Nissan. More information available at choosenissan.com.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program,
And it just hit us.
is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
This program is brought to you by Kibbles and Bits.
This is good, Mom.
Good? It's delicious. And this new Kibble blend is so healthy.
Thank you.
No, Nancy. Thank you. Kibbles and Bits, because every bit matters.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees, under partly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun. High 87. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, take a look. You know, we're showing you pictures, live pictures from Houston, as you can see in the corner. Not a rain-swollen bayou in Houston. It's a stretch of Interstate 45 looking north at North and Main. The person who's taking this picture says the whole highway looks like a river. It's just amazing to see this. There's the picture that we're talking about. As you can see, one car submerged there, one of many, we think, that were probably submerged in this area.
Yeah, and many more pictures coming in now out of Houston. We have live pictures from KPRC we're bringing to you. This situation just incredible, hard to believe. We just witnessed several people being picked up by what looked like a sort that you might use maybe to haul away dirt or do some landscaping, and we saw about 6 or 7 people being plucked out of the floodwaters and lifted into that vehicle and driven out to higher land. Right now, just neighborhoods are completely inundated with water. Travel is tough. City officials are urging everyone to stay off the roads. There you see people are out. They're trying to get around. Kind of a chaotic scene still evolving here in the city of Houston.
It looks like some of the floodwaters have come down considerably since earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can see what's left behind. I mean, that's going to be hard enough to drive on is all the mud that's left behind. And we've actually seen pictures of other things left behind, like fish. We've seen a few fish on some of the roadways as well.
Yeah, I've actually heard the catfish are just piling up everywhere around Houston, so pretty interesting there. The first time for everything, I guess. We do know, sadly, 2 people have died as a result of the flooding in Texas. We do know schools are canceled there. Again, people urged to stay home. As much as 10 inches, over 10 inches, both east and west of the city of Houston, of downtown Houston, have accumulated in just one day, 24 hours. And they haven't seen flooding like this since Hurricane Ike back in 2008.
And as we look at these live pictures from KPRC, you see, of course, that we are just taking them live from their helicopter camera as they search the area for the aftermath of all this flooding, watching the muddy roadways, watching still some streets that look a little bit like rivers, and this is what's a little disorienting sometimes. Is you say, okay, was that a river or was that a street? And then you see damage, people trying to clean up from water that's been in their homes. And obviously there's going to be a whole lot of work to do left behind here around the Houston area for the cleanup in this aftermath. And we wish we could say this is the end of the rain.
Right.
But it's not. I mean, we still have a chance for more thunderstorms today. They won't be as widespread, we think, but there will be some thunderstorms, hit and miss here and there, which means everybody won't be seeing it, but a lot of people will, and those that do may even see some heavy downpours, which could exacerbate.
Yeah, and at this point, it's just insult to injury because, you know, people are trying to get out and maybe get back to their homes and clean up, and more rain is not what you need right now. We may see maybe another inch by the next couple of days squeak out maybe in Houston, so it's not going to really lead to any more flooding, we don't think, but certainly is not going to make things any easier for the people here who have so much hard work ahead of them. So taking a live look now, this is KPRC TV. Once again, live pictures from their helicopter as they survey the damage from this historic flooding in the city of Houston and the surrounding areas right now. We do know there are still water rescues underway in Houston as we speak. We just saw, as I mentioned, about 6 or 7 people being loaded into a city vehicle. This wasn't even the Swift Water Rescue team we were seeing, Nick. This was, it looked like just a plain old city truck.
Just some volunteers, yeah, it's just helping out. We're getting lots of reports of flooded homes, Julie. 20 to 30 homes flooded in Pasadena, 20 homes flooded in the Lake Forest subdivision. So I think we're going to continue to see this process go on for quite a while.
Weather Wellness Program is brought to you by Nature Made Vitamins.
Did you know only 1% of supplements have earned the USP mark? An independent certification for quality and purity. I recommend Nature Made because they've earned the most of any brand.
Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended fish oil brand.
Introducing the new Can-Am Spyder F3. With a cruising riding position and the most advanced vehicle stability system in the industry, you'll ride with a feeling of complete freedom and confidence. Visit your Can-Am Spyder dealer and test drive one today. The new Spyder F3. Riding has evolved.
Minnesota winters are brutal. It's tough being cooped up. It gets a little stale.
When Dad opens up the window, it's the first thing he does.
The Tobin stance.
Spring is in the air.
And pollen, dog hair.
The sunshine looks like fairy dust. Whoa, wow.
What's this? Swiffer Sweeper.
Swiffer Dusters. Removes up to 70% of dust and allergens. Stays on there like glue.
Wow, look at that.
Ew. The Tobin stance.
That's totally what it is.
Deep in the dark, untouched recesses of your engine is power you never knew it could produce. And Vapor can set it free. New Stable 360 Performance unleashes that exclusive Vapor technology that rises above the fuel line to protect your engine where other additives can't. To help keep your engine running cleaner, leaner, smoother, and stronger than ever. The next level of performance is in the Vapor Stable 360 Performance.
Every auto insurance policy has a number. But not every insurance company understands the life behind it. Those who have served our nation have earned the very best service in return. USAA. We know what it means to serve. Get an auto insurance quote and see why 92% of our members plan to stay for life.
Time to get your hands on a Ryobi. During Ryobi days at the Home Depot, there's new, lower prices and special buys on the tools you need. And because all our 18-volt batteries run every 18-volt tool we've made or ever will make, you're buying into a trusted system of tools that you can build on for a lifetime. Ryobi One Plus, the one system that delivers more. Available only one place, the Home Depot. Now during Ryobi days, get this 4-piece lithium-ion super combo kit for only $129.
Heartburn.
No one burns on my watch. Try Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. They work fast and don't taste chalky.
Amazing. I have heartburn.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. Enjoy the relief.
Bop, 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 bop. Glad you're with us right here on AMHQ. The whole team.
Right? Either go all in or just tap out.
Here we go. I told you we're going to bust out of this drought.
As we say, keep watching with us this morning because we're all watching history happen together.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees, under partly cloudy skies. Today, a mix of clouds and sun, high 87, winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, showers early, low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain 30%. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Here we go. I told you we're going to bust out of this drought.
Keep watching with us this morning because we're all watching history together.
Historic flooding in Houston today.
Texas's governor has now expanded the disaster declaration to 37 Texas counties.
There you see the flood waters continuing to inundate much of Texas, particularly the Houston area today. It's 1:30 on Weather Center Live. I'm Nick Walker.
And I'm Julie Martin. The big problem in Houston at this hour, just too much water, plain and simple.
Record-setting rain sent at least 2 bayous over their banks. And take a look at the results. High water rescues.
Yeah, this couple spent the night in an 18-wheeler after flooding turned roads into rivers in Houston. We do Houston area as a result of this historic flooding, and that brings the total to 10.
Yeah, crews are beginning to make progress in restoring power now. It's still out to at least 60,000 customers of CenterPoint Energy in the Houston area. 80,000 people lost power at the height of the storms. Now, in New Orleans, a confirmed tornado, an EF1 twister, snapped trees and power lines. In their preliminary report, investigators estimate winds at 110 miles per hour, and there was structural damage to at least 1 building. Meanwhile, in Central Texas, 12 people are still missing after weekend flooding, and officials are trying to find them along the Blanco River. All right, Julie, track that rain that has been producing all that flooding around. Okay, we are continuing to do that, but we'll track that rain in just a minute. But first of all, we want to talk to Jeff Evans with the National Weather Service there in Houston.
That's right. Jeff, I know it's been a tough time for all of you there. Can you update us now on any improvements and where they might be in the city of Houston?
Well, fortunately, the rainfall that was really inundated much of the city last night ended early this morning, and then, we are starting to see some waters recede in a lot of the bayous. It's kind of a slow process to drain that out, but given the amount of water that fell in, that's to be expected.
This is being compared to a lot of past storms, including, Tropical Storm Allison. Do you have any apt comparisons to what we've seen before? I mean, we're calling this historic, and I guess indeed it is.
It is for some areas. Some of these areas that we're seeing the significant flooding from last night's rainfall didn't flood this bad with Allison, but there are some areas in the eastern part of the city that had it worse with Allison. So it's hard to compare directly, but certainly what we're looking at is on par with some of the the effects we were dealing with Allison, Hurricane Ike in '98. This is the first kind of level 1 emergency declaration for the city of Houston since Ike in 2008. So it's certainly a very, very significant event, and it's something that we've been trying to advertise, but there's just only so much you can really anticipate as far as just looking at the magnitude of what this event did for us.
Jeff, did this take you by surprise at all, or were you forecasting this type of event?
We knew that the potential was there. We'd been advertising late last week that somebody very well could get an 8 to 10 inch type of rain event, but we just don't really know where the small scale storm features are going to set up to where that's really going to hit. And unfortunately, last night it hit over kind of an urban area, and we certainly dealing with those impacts now.
Are there any lessons learned? Any things we can take away from this, particularly when it comes to dealing with this amount of water?
A lot of it's the same thing. I mean, unfortunately, we're still losing a lot of people and vehicles around the state. I think it's just getting that message out. And, we preach it, but the turnaround, don't drown, and don't drive into flooded roads. I don't think people really appreciate the danger they're in when they're going into high water with their vehicles. And, if any lesson, it's just going to reinforce those messages that we're trying to get out.
All right, Jeff, thank you so much. We appreciate all that you've been doing, and obviously the folks in Houston appreciate your hard work there at the National Weather Service. All right, let's talk more about the rain, how much we've seen, how much more we might get. Julie?
It's interesting. Nick and I were on the air last night as these storms were impacting Austin, Texas. This was before Houston happened, and this is how much rainfall they received yesterday, 5.2 inches. There were numerous problems in the city of Austin as well as some water rescues there. The previous record was 2.5, by the way, set way back in 1933. So as we take a look at Luling, Texas, this would be south of Austin, east of San Antonio. We're looking at the San Marcos River. Right now, it's still at 27.9 feet. The crest, though, is still expected on Thursday at 32 feet, and that would bring it into certainly a major flood stage. Not quite a record, though, that record 41. So these rivers are going to continue to slowly rise as well after so much rainfall coming in to the state of Texas, not just yesterday, but over the weekend. It's been just crazy out there. Fort Smith, Arkansas, you have now hit the wettest month on record. Your previous record was back in 1945, 15.02 inches, and now you're up at around 18.3 inches. So that's moisture just everywhere you look here across the southern plains, and this is why we have, this is the system we have had in place over the past few weeks now. Moisture being pulled up out of the Gulf of Mexico. We have our jet stream far to the north, and this trough in place here in the west. So it's just opened the door basically for this situation to evolve, and it sure has. And unfortunately, we don't see it budging a whole lot over the next few days or even into next week for that matter. Taking a look at the rainfall here since May 1st. Look at this. Places like Dallas and Houston, anywhere from a foot to a foot and a half of rain. That is just incredible. And even in New Orleans, looking at upwards of a foot. San Antonio, everywhere you look on the map. Oklahoma City, again, a foot to 2 feet of rain. There's just nowhere for this stuff to go once we get some more. The only silver lining, it has certainly improved the drought. This was the picture last year. This is the picture now. So if there's any silver lining, Nick, that would be it.
Yeah, we'll take the silver linings where we can get them, that's for sure. Thanks so much, Julie. Unfortunately, we see that line of storms that is held up as it's moved across Louisiana, Mississippi, now into Alabama and Georgia, and continuing to put down a lot of rain and, unfortunately, a lot of lightning, too. A lot of lightning strikes with this, as well as the chances of severe weather here in both Alabama and into Georgia. In fact, we have a warning still in southern Alabama for Houston and Jackson counties. Dothan, the thunderstorms coming into play in your area right about now. Mariana, you need to be on your guard as well. Hail and damaging winds, probably the biggest effects from this, aside from the heavy downpours of rainfall. As we track this toward the north, we need to be watching Headland there by 1250, by 105 Central Time, Newville. Then up toward the north, we're seeing rain coming across I-20 west of Atlanta. Rome seeing those lightning strikes. The city of Atlanta about to get socked from the south as more moisture and these thunderstorms come in. We've got plentiful moisture in the air, evidenced by the dew points well into the 60s, even a few 70s here and there too. So this moisture, plenty of it to rise and form those big, tall thunderstorm clouds. And the future radar showing for the next several hours that we expect to see more of that moisture inundating the deep south. We'll see it up in Atlanta, up toward Knoxville, up into the Carolinas too, as we get into your late night and early morning hours. It's the same scenario here with this moist southerly flow ahead of a very vigorous jet stream and an upper level low that's going to enhance more thunderstorms here in the coming days. And it looks like we'll see more of those severe storms inundating Texas and Oklahoma as well. Julie?
Let's go back now live to Houston. These live pictures from KPRC's helicopter. Taking a look now at some damage we are seeing from these historic floods that came through just within the last 24 hours. We'll continue to bring you the very latest video when we come back.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun. High 87. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I know, I used 3 strips of tape. Gorilla packaging tape. Of course.
Gorilla packaging tape is 2 times thicker and 50% wider to hold with just 1 strip for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
Can a protein originally found in a jellyfish improve your memory? Our scientists say yes. Researchers have discovered a protein that actually supports healthier brain function. It's the breakthrough in a supplement called Prevagen. As we age, we lose proteins that support our brain. Prevagen supplements these proteins and has been clinically shown to improve memory. It's safe and effective. For support of healthier brain function, a sharper mind, and clearer thinking, try Prevagen for yourself today.
Your heart is precious. One of many ways to support its health is new True Heart from One A Day. It's the only heart health supplement with ingredients to both help lower bad cholesterol and support healthy blood pressure, and also includes CoQ10. Try new True Heart.
There's a big difference between retirement and a secure retirement. Well, you may be standing right in front of the difference between uncertainty and knowing that everything's going to be all right. It's your home. Turning your home's equity into tax-free cash when you need it is a simple way to eliminate your existing monthly mortgage payments, pay off debt, and get you and your family the financial resources you need. It's a loan that your home pays back instead of you making monthly payments, the way you do with a traditional mortgage. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you may qualify for a government-insured reverse mortgage. Now, we all love our homes. Why not just stay there using a reverse mortgage with AAG? It could be the perfect solution. Call us today to receive a free information pack with no obligation that contains a helpful 3-part guide and DVD. You'll receive a guide to reverse mortgages and how they work, including the many consumer safeguards that protect you and your home. Also, our important all-new reverse mortgage retirement planner that explains the many ways a reverse mortgage could provide stability and security for your retirement. We then add a guide filled with information for children and loved ones. It's got what you need to know about reverse mortgages and how they can play a vital role in your retirement plans.
Call 1-800-816-8185 to receive our all-new information pack, all absolutely free with no obligation. Call 1-800-816-8185. That's 1-800-816-8185.
Real retirement security makes all the difference. Find out more about what a reverse mortgage can do for you.
Call 1-800-816-8185 to receive our all-new information pack, all absolutely free with no obligation. Call 1-800-816-8185. That's 1-800-816-8185.
AAG, the best advice for a better life.
Still paying too much for home phone service? Do the math. MagicJack costs only $35 a year for unlimited local and long-distance calling to the U.S. and Canada. And with the mobile app, get unlimited text messaging.
Unlimited texting for iOS only.
We are fashion-forward people. We live in a fashion-forward world.
And that's why we have a fashion-forward dog.
Welcome back, Ford. It's great to see you.
Morgan, his groomer, knows how important style is to Ford.
She can read his mood. She can know what he's going for, the look he wants. The last cut you did was inspired.
You know, when he's in the dog park,
you see it.
Other dogs just admire
doing
him.
this like you see dogs are like.
Double takes, a doggy double take.
Pethood's better with a partner. Now you can book appointments with our groomers online at PetSmart.com.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
please call 1-866-686-7952 now.
Welcome back to the Weather Channel, continuing to follow the situation unfolding in Houston, Texas. We're taking a live look now at this flooded roadway. There you see a car, at least 2 cars stranded there in those flood waters. Some onlookers out on their feet, fortunately not trying to drive out there, as is being advised against in the city of Houston. Houston's mayor speaking recently, saying that last night there were as many as 531 water-related rescues in and around Houston. Those are ongoing as we speak. In fact, within the last hour, we saw several people being trucked out of some floodwaters to safety. About 50,000 homes are still without power in this area. There are certainly going to be debris removal issues in the days to come. We also know that the mayor there has made a request to speak with the governor of Texas. Here's a live look at KPRC's helicopter shot of what looks to be some flood damage to this large building here. We're not quite sure what the building is at this point, but look at all of the mud surrounding the area as well. We spoke with the National Weather Service office out of Houston just a minute ago, and he does tell us a lot of these bayous and these floodwaters are receding. We haven't had the additional rain today, but we could get a little bit more actually coming in this afternoon and over the next couple of days. So just a sad situation there unfolding in the city of Houston. We're going to keep bringing you those live pictures for sure. We also want to get to some weather taking place across other parts of the country, including the Midwest right now. Some storms just getting ready to slam Chicago and Milwaukee right now. We do have these watches possible. The National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center has said that there will possibly be watches issued here from Chicago to Lansing and Traverse City. Also, some may be possible for Cincinnati and portions of Indiana as well in the next several hours here. Taking a look at the big picture, as I mentioned right now, some of these really strong storms back here getting ready to come on into Chicago up to Milwaukee, that line extending all the way back almost to Indianapolis there along I-70 and I-65. So here's your forecast. These storms continuing to push east. We're talking about the possibility of hail, damaging winds and lightning with these as well for you in Chicago as we time it out, looking like things starting to ramp up this afternoon, certainly, and continuing in maybe through the rush hours. So it's not going to be a great time for folks out on the roadways. Nick.
Well, Julie, we should mention that Florida got in on the severe weather action over the holiday weekend as well. We're talking trouble from the skies and from the waves. NBC's Mark Potter shares the horror as beachgoers spot trouble in the sky and then see a bounce house fly through the air with several children inside.
On a cloudy and windy day in Fort Lauderdale, a crowd of beachgoers was surprised and excited to see a rare sight, a waterspout formed in the Atlantic actually coming ashore right in front of them. Tornado. At first, there was laughter as the spinning winds chased a canopy down the beach. But quickly, it all turned serious as the winds flipped over, then lifted up 2 inflatable bounce houses, one with 3 children inside. Police say the children were as high as 15 to 20 feet in the air when they were ejected onto the sand.
The bounce house continued to travel across the parking lot, through the median, and onto the southbound lanes of A1A.
It was horrible. It was like a movie that was happening in front of my face.
2 of the children with minor fractures have been released from the hospital. One is being held for observation. Shamoya Ferguson's daughter and stepson were in the bounce house.
I was crying.
Yeah, she was crying.
I was crying and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I can't believe this. And it was like, oh, and I said, she's going to be okay, she's going to be okay.
Also, all along Florida's east coast, more than 150 swimmers had to be rescued after getting caught in powerful rip currents. At least 5 have been killed since the weekend. Stiff winds, rough seas, and a waterspout making for dangerous holiday conditions on the Florida beaches. Mark Potter, NBC News.
Well, stay with us. We have much more ahead on the dangerous situation.
What makes Lay's Kitchen different from the rest? We pride ourselves on bold, authentic flavors with the finest ingredients.
The satisfying crunch and rich flavors of Lay's kettle-cooked chips. One taste, and you're in love.
We all try to eat right. We try to exercise. But sometimes
We all need an extra boost. That's why, to make sure my metabolism keeps working as hard as I do, I choose the 7-Day Ultra Fast Slim Kit by Body Lab.
This advanced system works 3 ways to accelerate results. It naturally cleanses to flush out unwanted toxins, helps reduce belly bloat, and revs up your metabolism to burn the fat.
It's time to be the girl of your dreams with Body Lab.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is a large and dangerous tornado.
That's why we get real local the moment you need it.
We are live in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Florida.
Real accurate.
This is round 1 of the severe storms that are coming through.
From real experts on the ground.
That is a gust front for you right there in Dusty, Texas. Wow.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is basically what makes the Weather Channel
Keep the Weather Channel on.
Here at the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel is out in full force today.
Only the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees, under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun, high 87, winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds, low 77, winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 86, winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Routine. It's a hard thing to break. Day in, day out. From point A to B and back again. There's a difference between being alive and living. For those who can't imagine life without 2 wheels, Allstate offers a genuine parts guarantee that promises to fix your bike with original parts. Talk to an Allstate agent about all the things they do to keep riders riding.
73% of Americans try to cook healthy meals, yet up to 90% fall short in getting key nutrients from food alone. Let's do more. Add One A Day Men's 50 Plus, complete with key nutrients we may need. Plus, it helps support healthy blood pressure with vitamin D and magnesium.
I'm outside. Where are you?
I'm right here. I'm in the Buick.
I don't see a Buick.
Oh, got it.
Encore, the expectation-shattering crossover from Buick.
Wow.
During the Buick Spring Sales Event, pay no interest for 5 years, plus get $750 purchase bonus cash on the 2015 Encore.
Introducing Ring, the world's most advanced doorbell.
Hello? Delivery for Aaron Parker? Thanks, you can leave it at the door.
Ring streams HD video and audio to smartphones and tablets. With dual power options, you can install Ring in just minutes. And Ring's real-time motion alerts are the perfect way to monitor your home. Convenience, monitoring, security. Order your Ring video doorbell today at ring.com.
Away is as much about getting there as it is being there. Away is where the days are packed with wonder. And the evenings are filled with familiar comforts. Find your Away. For a deal, visit GoRVing.com.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
please call 1-855-305-2053 now.
Here we go. I told you, we're going to bust out of this drought.
Keep watching with us this morning because we're all watching history together.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live as we continue to look at the aftermath of deadly flooding here in the Houston area. These are live pictures of a roadway that continues to be flooded. Some of the water beginning to recede now, but you can see a couple of vehicles that are stranded and people apparently waiting with officials there to see perhaps if they can retrieve those vehicles. You know, there were over 500 reports of water rescues just last night, and hundreds of cars still out there are stranded. A lot of people are going to be trying to retrieve those. No doubt tow trucks are going to be very busy today as well. Well, we continue to follow the line of thunderstorms. It has exited Texas, gone through Louisiana, gone through Mississippi, and is now into Alabama, where we've seen some severe thunderstorms. This warning here for Dale County in Alabama, Daleville, Echo, and Ozark all need to be on your guard for the possibility of some large hail moving through this area. We'll track this into Asbury here in the next few minutes. Echo by 1:13 Central Time and Bertha by 1:21. So as it moves off toward the northeast, hail is going to be a possibility. Lightning, a certainty. That's for sure. We got plenty of that, so get inside a sturdy building. And of course, there's going to be some heavy downpours of rain as well that could cause some quick bursts of water over roadways. Atlanta, you're seeing thunderstorms move now toward the western suburbs. More of those headed your way. It looks like it could be a rough evening drive for you. Julie?
Well, as we've seen in Wimberley, Austin, and Houston, Texas, relentless rain can turn waterways into raging fury. Sam Champion shows us the power of floodwater in this edition of Brainstorm.
River flooding can occur when a waterway is overwhelmed by a high volume of new water from either snowmelt or rain. It's a volume of water that can't be transported downstream fast enough, and the river can then exceed the capacity of its channel, spilling its banks over an area known as the floodplain. And spring rainstorms can be particularly flood triggering, with massive individual storms able to dump the rainfall equivalent of half the water in the Great Salt Lake in just a few days. The influx of water can raise the levels of some rivers as fast as 2 feet per hour until they can't handle it anymore and simply overflow. And then there's just the sheer number of streams and rivers. The United States alone has about 3.5 million miles of them, and their combined length alone is about 140 times longer than the Earth's actual circumference. That means that even if the average floodplain spanned just 50 yards, and they can be much bigger, the total area of all these flood zones in the country would be twice the size of New England. And as you know, floodwaters can be dangerous too, especially if the water hits a downslope. That allows it to gain speed. And because water weighs over 60 pounds per cubic foot, it can travel as fast as 6 miles an hour on a slope that's barely noticeable. And that's why even 6 inches of moving water can surprisingly knock you off your feet. And listen to this. In just 2 feet of water, a stalled car can be pushed downstream. In fact, each vertical foot of water can add 3,000 pounds of total lateral force to an object the size of your average car. In an effort to prevent this flooding, sometimes levees are built. They're walls or embankments that are supposed to keep rivers in their channel. The Mississippi River alone is lined by 1,600 miles of levees. They average almost 25 feet in height. So if you were just driving the Mississippi's levees, it would be longer than the drive from Miami to Boston. And now you've been brainstormed. Sam Champion, The Weather Channel.
Let's take it back now live to Houston, where we continue to see an evolving flood situation. The rain has stopped, but the waters are still a big problem throughout the city.
It's going to take a while for these waters to recede, but they are already doing so. As a matter of fact, we're getting reports now that they're probably about only half of the reports of high water that we saw earlier at the height of the storm. Obviously, we still have a long way to go.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun. High 87. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
We are continuing to monitor the flooding situation in Houston as police officers are apparently escorting vehicles down what perhaps were flooded roadways, now back to a safe place away from the high water. Still plenty of high water there in Houston. We thank you for joining us here on Weather Center Live. I'm Nick Walker.
And I'm Julie Martin. The scenes coming out of Houston, just incredible, indescribable, even unbelievable. Roads leading to nowhere because they're covered in water. Cars stranded on what were roadways there. More than 80,000 people losing power after record-setting rain pushed at least 2 bayous out of their banks and into the streets, neighborhoods, and homes. Floodwaters closed stretches of I-10 and 45. Some are calling this the worst flooding to hit Houston in 30 years.
All right, here's what we know right now. At least 2 people died in the flooding that hit Houston late last night and early this morning. And we've shown you over the past hour, high water rescues still underway in parts of the city. Officials say at least 531 of those rescues have been made so far. Houston's home county, Harris County, is one of the 37 counties for which the governor of Texas has issued a disaster declaration. All right, Julie, bring us up to date. Show us where the rain is now, where it might even set up later today.
Well, we could see a few more scattered storms in the Houston area, but it shouldn't be too much in terms of accumulation. We still have a flash flood watch up. This goes until 6 o'clock tonight for you in the Houston metro area. So we could see a little more coming in, certainly nothing like what these folks have endured within the last 24 hours. These are the one-day rain totals, and we are looking at accumulations as high as 10.1 inches in and around the greater Houston area, anywhere from, say, 5 to 7 inches in general throughout much of the area itself. Taking a look at some of these totals, Brays Bayou here at the Beltway, 10.4, 10.5 inches of rain in 24 hours with nowhere for that rain to go. And here we see the end result of that, over 8 inches for Keegan's Bayou. The numbers just go on and on here. We are looking at just what will likely turn out to be certainly an unprecedented situation here in Houston. Look at this picture. This tells the story, okay? This is Houston before the flood. This is what it looked like after. Nowhere for people to go. These roads covered in water. Number of rescues, more than 500 water rescues taking place as a result. Numerous storm reports. There's just a ton of damage throughout the city of Houston right now, and still people being rescued from these floodwaters. We just saw that within the past hour or so. So here's a look at the forecast for you, Houston. Things will get better. As I mentioned, a couple of hit or miss storms. Then we mostly turn things into a dry pattern for the remainder of this evening, but it won't necessarily be dry all week. We could still see a little more rain coming in. Here's a look at tomorrow, where we could still see a few more scattered storms coming through Texas, some severe storms up through Oklahoma City, and much of the Mid-South also getting wet for tomorrow, as well as portions of the Midwest. And then on Thursday, again, looking at the possibility of a little bit more here working its way in. Now, by the end of the week, maybe looking at an inch or so total, so certainly nothing like what we saw. Nonetheless, this is just what you don't need when you're out there trying to clean up. Nick?
Well, that is for sure, Julie. And unfortunately, we'll likely see more severe weather from this line of thunderstorms as it's made its way from Texas all the way into Alabama and into Georgia. But we're also watching a cold front back out here into Texas. So that could set off more thunderstorms as we get through the latter part of the day and into the evening hours. Right now, the thunderstorms concentrated right here in the deep south from Pensacola up to Montgomery, Alabama, over to Albany, Georgia, and southward all along Interstate 10 and even on up to I-22. A lot of lightning strikes with this, so that's one danger you want to stay away from and get inside. When thunder roars, go indoors. You always hear us say that. Another reason to get indoors is because of the potential of hail. Severe weather possibilities here in southern Alabama, just north of Dothan. Dale County under a warning now. Echo, Newton, and Ozark, all areas that we could see maybe some large hail from this thunderstorm, at least maybe a quarter-size hail. As this continues on toward Echo, it should get there by 1:16, 1:19 at Bell's Crossroads and Blue Springs by 1:24 Eastern Time. A little bit farther toward the north, we got problems as heavy rain moves into Chicago and Milwaukee. This line of storms aided and abetted by an upper-level low, so we'll continue to see more severe weather possibilities making their way eastward today. Over the next couple of hours, we might even see a watch posted, perhaps a severe thunderstorm or tornado watch for portions of Michigan back toward Chicago and here into Indiana and Illinois as well. And Ohio, too, could see these thunderstorms. Cincinnati up toward Fort Wayne, maybe a watch for those areas for severe weather. We certainly could see spotty damaging winds from these storms today in all this area over toward Detroit, southward all the way into Nashville. And we'll be watching, too, for more severe weather with damaging winds, hail, and isolated tornadoes all the way from South Texas northward to Oklahoma City once again. Julie?
A dangerous start to the day in 8 states as storms pounded parts of the southeast. In Houston, schools are closed and residents are struggling with the aftermath of record-setting rain, as NBC's Janet Shamlian shows us.
Historic heavy rains in Houston, flooding roads and stranding drivers, leaving 80,000 residents without power. Parts of the city almost doubled the all-time record for rainfall in just one day.
Rockets fans are excited about their big win over the Warriors tonight. However, we are stuck inside for a little bit.
There was so much rain, Rockets fans were warned to stay inside the Toyota Center after the NBA playoff game. Center Dwight Howard staying on the court, working to keep up the spirits of the stranded.
It just sucks that all these people, can't get home, get to their families and their loved ones, and a lot of people are without power.
The rainwater flooding the parking lot at this shopping mall overnight. Residents posting the aftermath on social media.
And there goes our power.
While covering the storm, even our NBC station KPRC suffered a power outage live on the air. But that never stopped the reporting.
We are practically in the dark, but happy to still be able to broadcast and at least get you the information that you need.
Houston is very prone to flooding, but to give you some idea of how bad it is here, authorities say this is the worst flood they've seen in 30 years. Back to you.
Incredible. And we're going to continue to bring you those live pictures out of Houston now. It's the aftermath ensues there. Just a huge mess. Still people stranded, and the water is still very high, though they are coming down a little bit.
Views like this, you know why we say turn around, don't drown in this kind of flooding.
We were below the 88th southern parallel. We had traveled for over 850 miles. My men driven nearly mad from starvation and frostbite. Today we make history.
Bienvenidos! Welcome to the South Pole!
If you're Dora the Explorer, you explore. It's what you do.
What took you so long?
If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
You did it! Yay!
It may seem strange, but people really can love their laxative, especially when it's Miralax. It hydrates, eases, and softens to unblock your system naturally, so you have peace of mind from start to finish. Love your laxative, Miralax.
As the host of a popular home improvement show, I know a lot about finding a great contractor for home repairs and improvement projects. Now there's HomeAdvisor.com, a free service that matches your project to top local service professionals.
We didn't have to do any work other than say what we needed.
Just 1, 2, 3, I found my guy and everything was smooth.
And it's always free to use.
We've had nothing but fabulous every single time.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com now to get started on your next project.
You don't know your credit
I don't know
score?
my credit score.
That's really important. I mean,
I don't know my
Don't
credit
you want to
score.
buy a house, like, ever? You should probably check out Credit Karma. It's free.
Credit Karma. Free.
Credit Karma. Really free credit scores.
Time to sweat, boys. Big time.
Let's get this thing right. This is my one shot.
I have made fire!
Fat Guys in the Woods. The new season starts June 7th, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun. High 87. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Here we go. I told you we're going to bust out of this drought.
Keep watching with us this morning because we're all watching history together.
What's up with your car?
Pretty sure it's possessed and out of warranty.
I'm going to cost you a fortune at the dealership, Cheryl. Well, at Midas, our experts will tell you what needs fixing now and what can wait. And they don't laugh at people. I'm sorry, Cheryl.
No, I'm not. I am not sorry at all.
Get the Midas Touch maintenance package with oil change, tire rotation, and more. Use your Midas credit card and get a rebate of $20. Go to Midas.com to make an appointment. Trust the Midas Touch.
Come to Midas, where we can take care of everything.
Time to get your hands on a Ryobi. During Ryobi days at the Home Depot, there's new, lower prices and special buys on the tools you need. And because all our 18-volt batteries run every 18-volt tool we've made or ever will make, you're buying into a trusted system of tools that you can build on for a lifetime. Ryobi One Plus, the one system that delivers more. Available only one place, the Home Depot. Now during Ryobi days, get this 4-piece lithium-ion super combo kit for only $129.
No artificial flavors, colors, sweeteners, preservatives, and no artificial smiles. Because clean dressings taste better.
Welcome back to the continuing coverage of the severe as well as flooding events that we've seen over the last couple of days and continuing even now with severe weather in Alabama. We've got a warning as thunderstorms make their way across South Alabama in Dale County. We could face some hail here, maybe up to quarter size. Echo, Newton, and Ozark all need to be on your guard here as these thunderstorms make their way off toward the northeast. We'll time that out to Teals Crossing at 122, Echo at 128, and Bell's Crossroads at 132 as these thunderstorms are what's left of what inundated Texas with the flooding overnight. Now we've got lots of lightning as these thunderstorms continue to make their way across the deep south, beginning to affect the Atlanta area now as rain and lightning comes your way. Atlanta will probably find ourselves with more of that as we head through your evening hours. Some of us are going to get more than others as these lines of thunderstorms come across you and begin to pop up here and there. We call it hit and miss thunderstorms. Birmingham, similar scenario here. Not everybody getting heavy downpours, but some of you just may very well. Julie?
Central Texas faces a long and daunting task coming to terms with the lives lost due to the flooding over the weekend. And those include a homecoming queen in Devine, Texas, who was heading home after her prom.
She did the right things. You know, she called 911, she called her father, but it was just too much and too quick.
The young woman is just one of those who lost their lives over the weekend due to flooding. In all, 10 people have died, 4 in Oklahoma, another 6 in Texas, and that includes 2 people who died in the flooding that struck Houston this morning. And there are still at least 12 people missing after devastating floods this weekend in Central Texas. That includes members of 2 families. The vacation home they were staying in for the holiday was washed away. KXAN TV's Leslie Bramson has their story.
We are in a house that is now floating down the river. Call Mom and Dad. I love you.
Those were the last words Julie Shields had with her sister Laura. She was on the phone with her when the cabin she was staying in with her husband Jonathan and 2 kids was carried away in the rushing water.
My sister will always be my sister.
The conversation ended when Laura thought she saw light from a helicopter above there to rescue them.
And I just expected to go to the Wimberley High School the next day and find her. And then when she wasn't there, I knew something was very, very wrong.
Jonathan was found 12 miles away and was taken to a San Antonio hospital for treatment. Laura and their 2 kids, Leighton and Andrew, still missing. Julie says Jonathan did everything he could to help save them, but the cabin eventually split apart, separating them.
The blessing in all of this is that she is with her children. And she is with her babies, and she will be with her babies always in heaven. And we know that as a family.
Absolutely just devastating and so sad there. That relentless rain continued yesterday, and Austin is one place that's trying to recover from the flooding it saw. Yesterday, more than 5 inches of rain fell in Austin, blanketing the streets downtown with just a coat of water. There were some water rescues there too. Nick and I were both on the air witnessing all of that going on before the system hit Houston. Now, for a short time, officials did evacuate some of the low-lying areas there, and those evacuations now over, but the crews there did make more than 20 high water rescues in Austin, Texas. So the last thing you want in Texas right now is rain. Let's see what the forecast holds for you, though. In Houston, we've been talking about the fact that it is dry now, but we are looking at the possibility of some hit or miss storms coming in through the evening hours here in Houston, and then maybe some redevelopment as we head toward the end of the week. Certainly nothing like what we saw in the last 24 hours.
1 can of Bush's beans. Well, this is a predicament. Home style sounds good, but country style not without its charms. Brown sugar hickory? Who says no to hickory? Not this guy. New sweet heat? Sure. There are no rules here. No rules on aisle 4.
Our new sweet heat is cooked according to our secret family recipe with a sweet and spicy chili sauce.
Did you get a can of Bush's beans?
Yes, I did.
Bush's beans. What's your favorite flavor?
Bush's beans. What's your favorite flavor?
I went to Ancestry.com, but I thought, I'm not going to make it very far. I knew my parents and my grandparents, and then it happened. I got a leaf. When I clicked on it, I could actually see my grandfather's draft card from World War I and his U.S. Census from 1910, and another member's tree that had my great-grandparents and their parents and everything. And it all started with my first leaf.
Who will you discover at Ancestry.com?
Your heart is precious. One of many ways to support its health is new True Heart from One A Day. It's the only heart health supplement with ingredients to both help lower bad cholesterol and support healthy blood pressure, and also includes CoQ10. Try new True Heart.
When unexpected bills become too much, reach out to Rise. With cash in your account as soon as tomorrow, letting you get back to what matters most. Visit risecredit.com today.
What does Jennifer Lopez know about burning fat that you don't?
Total burn.
With a key ingredient shown in a clinical trial to help participants burn off 15% of their body fat.
Be the girl of your dreams.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
Please call 1-866-686-7952 now.
Glad you're with us right here on AMHQ. The whole team.
Right? Either go all in or just tap out.
Here we go. I told you, we're going to bust out of this drought.
As we say, keep watching with us this morning because we're all watching history happen together.
the FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
please call 1-855-305-2053 now.
Mom and Dad told us they had just made their funeral and burial prearrangements. We thought they already had taken care of that. When we learned it was through Beth Israel and Eternal Light, we knew everything would be handled in the most caring and professional way. We realized it would be one of the most difficult days of our lives. It inspired my husband and me to make our own prearrangements so the burden wouldn't fall on our children when that day comes. It's not an easy thing to think about, but I'm so glad we did.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program, and it just hit us, is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees, under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun. High 87. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. We've got a few new warnings to talk about. One of those here in Oklahoma. Comanche, Grady, and Stevens County under warnings for the possibility of damaging winds and hail till 1:45. Take shelter in the Lawton, Oklahoma area. We'll continue to keep a close eye on this as it moves off toward the northeast, toward Acme, and by 1:36 to Marlow. Now we've got problems here in the deep south as that line of thunderstorms that inundated Houston this morning continues to put down a lot of rain west of the Atlanta area. A flash flood warning for Carroll, Coweta, and Heard counties until 8:15 Eastern time this evening. Looks like we could see some water over roadways and creeks on the rise here in Georgia.
We still have that developing situation out of Houston where they are waiting for the floodwaters to recede.
Joining us now on the phone is Kim Jackson with the Harris County Flood Control District. Okay, Kim, thanks so much for taking time out to join us. We know at least 2 bayous topped their banks. Where's the worst of the flooding right now?
Actually, we had several bayous come out of their banks. Those that are still having the most significant impacts are Upper Brays Bayou, which is one of our primary bayous through the city. A tributary of Brays called Keegan's Bayou it is flooding along the entire length of that, as well as our Buffalo Bayou and the West Fork of the San Jacinto River, among 3 or 4 others.
And Kim, talk about this. Put this in some historical context for us. When's the last time you remember it this bad?
Well, we have had a couple of, in the part of the county that this affected in 2009, this is West and Southwest Harris County. We had a pretty major flood that had similar rainfall totals, and we don't have the house counts, the flooding house counts in yet, but there was approximately 2,000 at that time that flooded. We're still out there. We've got a lot of assessment to do, so hopefully the numbers won't be that large. But I would say that's a similar storm.
What can you do to even prepare for water like this? I mean, how do you deal with this much water in a short amount of time?
Yes, it is difficult when it's flash flooding, and which is what we experience. But we are always urging, because we live in a very flat landscape, and our soils are not very absorbent. We always urge people to remain diligent all year round with their flood preparedness, to have a family action plan, to have a kit, similar to what a hurricane kit is, but we'd like to have it all year round because of our flood-prone community, and that's keeping the water and the food on hand, watching the forecast, stay put, don't venture out when there is a possibility of heavy rain, and just keep your family safe.
And Kim, I understand a number of the flood gauges were actually destroyed by the power of the water in this particular flood. Can you talk about how unusual that is?
Yeah, that is unusual, and we did have one confirmed on we call it our signature bayou, Buffalo Bayou, which runs through the heart of our city, right at the downtown area. We had one of our gauges wash away, which just shows you how powerful that current was and is.
And Kim, real quickly, we just have a few seconds left, but tell us, where do we go from here? What do we do now? Is there anything we do to prepare for the next time?
Yeah, well, along the lines of what I mentioned before, we're urging all of our residents to continue watching the forecast. There's we're hoping we're in the clear, but there's a possibility of some scattered showers. And with our ground saturated and our channels high, it won't take much, for the same situation to occur. So watch the forecast, keep track of what's going on around their particular neighborhood, and just keep all the preparedness on hand.
All right, Kim Jackson with the Harris County Flood Control District, a busy lady at this hour, I am sure. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, and as she mentioned, more rain expected.
Yeah, some scattered storms.
Yeah, we could get. We're not going to get the kind of flooding that we've been talking about, but we're going to see more of that with some, just being exacerbated on the already saturated ground. Now we've got flooding problems coming in west of the Atlanta area. We'll continue to talk about that.
Heartburn.
Someone say burn? Try Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. They work fast and don't taste chalky.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. Enjoy the relief.
Shopping online is as easy as it gets. Wouldn't it be great if hiring plumbers, carpenters, and even piano tuners were just as simple? Thanks to Angie's List, now it is. Start shopping online from a list of top-rated providers.
Visit angieslist.com today.
How average shirts handle the heat. How Duluth Trading Armachillo shirts handle the heat. Duluth Armachillo shirts with torso cooling technology. Crank the cold. Get one. Only at DuluthTrading.com.
There was a time in my life when doing anything physical was a real struggle. I had gotten so overweight. I wanted to hide from everything, from life. So I had to find something that actually worked. And for me, the only thing was Nutrisystem. Nutrisystem changed everything. It helped me get healthy. I'm not just back, I'm feeling better than ever. I'm Marie and I lost 50 pounds.
It's the nationwide launch from America's #1 home delivery diet program, Nutrisystem. Lose weight fast with Nutrisystem's Fast 5 Plus kit. Lose 5 pounds your first week, plus 1 inch off your waist or your money back guaranteed. The results are amazing.
People will walk up to me and say, "Thank you, I lost weight. You inspired me." Do you know what? That means the world to me.
Nutrisystem has helped millions of people lose weight. The secret behind the science? The proper balance of smart carbs, plus healthy fats, plus lean proteins that helps you get smart, effective, and amazing results.
People ask me all the time, is the food good? Yeah, the food is good.
Order your 28-day Nutrisystem plan right now, including Fast 5 Plus. Get 1 week of specially selected meals, plus 1 week of energizing shakes, and 1 week of Craving Crusher shakes free. New food selections. Plus, call or click to lock in 2014 prices. And we'll even throw in free shipping. Act fast and get our NutriCurb free. Introducing all new NutriCurb. A breakthrough way to help control your appetite while you lose weight. NutriCurb works with your body's own appetite control mechanism to delay hunger signals to your brain. So instead of just feeling full, with NutriCurb, you feel less hungry in the first place. Plus, get our new expert guides. You get all this, plus free shipping. Nutrisystem really works. Lose 5 pounds your first week, plus 1 inch off your waist, or your money back. Guaranteed.
Call 877-943-THIN.
Nutrisystem has been amazing. It's changed my life, and it can change yours.
Glad you're with us right here on AMHQ. The whole team.
Right? Either go all in or just tap out.
Here we go. I told you, we're going to bust out of this drought.
As we say, keep watching with us this morning because we're all watching history happen together.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees, under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun. High 87. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Fat Guys in the Woods, new season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
Homes have been completely wiped off of the map.
Historic flooding moves from central Texas to Houston.
Ahead, how that flooding has just slammed Houston. Just an incredible scene unfolding when that high water could recede and where the rain that caused it could set up again this week.
It's 1:30 now on Weather Center Live. I'm Nick Walker.
And I'm Julie Martin. We have a big problem in Houston at this hour. Way too much water.
Yeah, record-setting rain sent at least 2 bayous over their banks. And take a look at the results. High water rescues, numerous rescues, more than 500 of them since last night.
And this couple spent the night in an 18-wheeler after flooding turned their road into a river in Houston. We know now at least 2 people died in the Houston area as a result of this flooding.
And we know a lot more now, too. Crews are making progress in restoring power. It's still out, though, to at least 60,000 customers of CenterPoint Energy in the Houston area. 80,000 people lost power at the height of the storms. In New Orleans, a confirmed tornado. The EF1 twisters snapped trees and power lines. In their preliminary report, investigators estimate winds at 110 miles per hour. And there was structural damage to at least 1 building with that tornado. Meanwhile, in Central Texas, 12 people are still missing after weekend flooding, and officials are trying to find them along the Blanco River. All right, Julie, let's track that rain that produced all that flooding in Houston now.
Yeah, we could still see a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms in the Houston area. Certainly nothing like what we have seen in the past 24 hours. You know, it's not just Houston, but places like Austin also saw just some tremendous rainfall yesterday afternoon. They picked up 5.2 inches, and there were flooding issues in and around Austin, Texas as well. That beat, by the way, that previous record set back in the 1930s. Taking a look at some of those wettest months on record, pretty impressive out there. We're looking at Oklahoma City, Wichita Falls, Fort Smith, Arkansas, all looking at record rains for the month of May. As we take you out now to live radar, you'll notice Houston is dry for now, but again, we could see some scattered storms developing as we move throughout the afternoon and the evening hours tonight. So just kind of adding insult to injury at this point. Here's our setup. This is the same setup we've had just stuck here for the past few weeks. We have this big trough in the west, the jet stream up in the north. opening the door to all of this moisture being pulled up from the north as well. So unfortunately, this is what we've been stuck with, and it has just been the perfect setup for heavy rain in places like Texas and Oklahoma, where we have seen some pretty incredible totals. Look at this. This is since May 1st. We have picked up about 1 foot to 1.5 feet of rain in places like Dallas and Houston. 18 to 24 inches in Memphis, or in Oklahoma City rather. So 1 to 2 feet, maybe even more in some of these outlying areas. And then in general, just looking at all of the reds and pinks on the screen, tremendous rainfall. The only silver lining in all of this is that it has helped the drought situation. This is a look at last May, where we were in exceptional drought throughout much of Texas, at least extreme drought, just a terrible drought there that had been going on for years. And here is a look now at where we sit. This has probably even improved a little bit more than this. So now looking much better in terms of the drought for you in the Lone Star State. So again, we will look at additional rain coming in this week as well. Maybe an inch or so in Houston, as I mentioned, where we certainly do not need it.
And that's how you can have flooding and a drought at the same time. Just amazing. Now we've got more severe weather popping up. Back here in Oklahoma, Comanche, Grady, and Stevens counties under this severe thunderstorm warning until 1:45 Central Time. Duncan, Marlow, and Walters, you need to be on your guard. We'll continue to track this off mainly toward the west to Marlow at 1:37. Rush Springs as well needs to be on your guard for the possibility of hail and damaging winds. Gas City by 1:50. Now we've got the problems here in Alabama and Georgia as this line of thunderstorms has really held up all night long. Austin, Houston, across Mississippi, now into Alabama and Georgia. Atlanta feeling its effects with some heavy rainfall and some storms moving your way. There is a flash flood warning just to the west of Atlanta. This is for Carroll, Coweta, and Heard counties. Carrollton, Villa Rica, and Winston all need to be on your guard for the possibility of quick rising streams as well as water over roadways, as a lot of rain has already fallen from this and more coming into the same area. Matter of fact, we're going to see more severe weather here possible. This for Randolph and Terrell County in Georgia, Benevolence, Cuthbert, and Shellman under that warning for maybe some hail, maybe some damaging wind as well. Moving off toward the northeast, it should make its way toward Weston by 2:37 Eastern Time, Chambliss by 2:41. So a widespread area of possible severe weather, even back into Texas. We've got a cold front moving this way, and from Del Rio up toward Abilene, Dallas, and Oklahoma City, once again, could see not only heavy rain, but also the possibility of hail, damaging winds. Tornadoes are possible in central and southwest Oklahoma. They're possible here in central Texas. A 4 on the Torcon there, a 4 in 10 chance of seeing a tornado within a 50-mile radius of that area. Tomorrow, we could see more damaging wind and hail threats, maybe tornadoes isolated too, all the way from West Texas into Dallas and Oklahoma, up toward Dodge City, Kansas. A lot of areas under this possibility. Southern Oklahoma, northern Texas, a Torcon of 4 there, and farther toward the north, it's a 3 in northwest Oklahoma and the eastern Texas Panhandle. Julie?
Dallas also mopping up after storms on Memorial Day. Our own Dave Melkoff is there. He updates us now on the flooding we've seen around the state.
We're going to take you around Texas on a tour of the amazing flooding we've seen here, not only in the Trinity River behind me that runs through downtown Dallas. That's overflowing its banks. It's higher than it has been in the last 5 years. But the real news was while you were sleeping down in Houston. Take a look at this chopper shot. As the sun came up, we saw the full scope of the historic flooding that happened in Houston, with thousands of people without power, thousands of people on the road stranded. Their car either stalled out or was stuck in the water as water poured over the highways there. You had people stuck at a basketball game. The Houston Rockets were playing at the Toyota Center, and then all those people could not go home. They were there until the wee hours of the morning. Same thing happened over at the Galleria Mall. People trapped inside by the floodwaters. There were people trapped in their homes, rescues overnight. A really dangerous situation for the city of Houston. Still problems over on the Blanco River between Austin and San Antonio. That's historic flooding there as well, with rain moving in not only today but throughout the rest of the week. It's still a dangerous situation here in Texas, in Oklahoma, and east of here as well. In Dallas, I'm Dave Malkoff. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Dave. Well, from Chicago's Mag Mile to Times Square in New York City, you're going to want to keep an eye to the sky. We do have the chance of storms as the week proceeds. And yes, Chicago and New York, you are in the mix. So let's take you out now to that storm threat we have in the Midwest for this evening. The National Weather Service just issued this severe thunderstorm watch. This goes until 10 o'clock tonight. And we are looking at cities including Cincinnati up toward Fort Wayne, Indiana here. Hail in 1-inch diameter and winds in excess of 70 miles per hour is what we're anticipating with this. Now, these storms may be a little more isolated in nature. Nonetheless, that entire area needs to be on guard as we move in through the evening hours. Right now, we've seen those storms just blast through Chicago, a lot of them heading out over Lake Michigan. Some strong storms also moving through Indianapolis right now, and we'll expect more of these to intensify as we move throughout the late afternoon and evening hours. Well, the waters are starting to recede in parts of Houston, so ahead, how 10 inches of rain or more has affected everything from roads to neighborhoods. Plus,
I was in a bounce house, and then the bounce house flew while I was in there. Then I fell in the dirt.
what sent a bounce house flying in Florida yesterday with several kids inside.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees, under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun. High 87. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
When I'm out in the hot sun, I know how to hydrate on the inside. But what about my skin?
Coppertone Sports Sunscreen puts a breathable layer on your skin to help keep it hydrated by holding in natural moisture while providing protection from harmful UV rays.
Game on.
Coppertone Sport.
Brought to you by Coppertone Sunscreen.
Introducing the new Can-Am Spyder F3 with a cruising riding position and the most advanced vehicle stability system in the industry. You'll ride with a feeling of complete freedom and confidence. Visit your Can-Am dealer and test drive the Spyder F3 today.
Routine. It's a hard thing to break. Day in, day out. From point A to B and back again. There's a difference between being alive and living. For those who can't imagine life without two wheels, Allstate offers a genuine parts guarantee that promises to fix your bike with original parts. Talk to an Allstate agent about all the things they do to keep riders riding.
Devour food that's good for you. The same way you devour food that's not good for you.
You know, some people have told me reverse mortgages sound too good to be true. I mean, you get cash out of your home, no monthly payments, and still own your home. There's got to be a catch, right, Jesse? Well, there isn't. It's like any other mortgage, only with a reverse mortgage, the loan's paid back when the last borrower leaves the home. In fact, reverse mortgages are based on a notion that President Reagan signed into law over 25 and they're 62 or older and own your own home, you may qualify for a government-insured reverse mortgage with AAG that allows you to turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. And with AAG, there are never any credit score requirements.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive a new free information kit, including a reverse mortgage guide and DVD, personal stories from people like you, and a brand new family guide for children and loved ones, all absolutely free with no obligation.
AAG can help you pay off credit card debt, eliminate monthly mortgage payments, and provide some real retirement security.
Call 1-800-661-0312 today to get your free AAG reverse mortgage information kit and bonus DVD.
In the kits, you'll receive a helpful 3-part guide. The first will show you how a government-insured reverse mortgage allows you to access the equity in your home as tax-free cash. 500,000 people have already done it. The second booklet contains stories told by people just like you who've had their lives changed forever using a reverse mortgage. And the third guide is full of helpful answers and information for children and loved ones.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free.
They're simply an effective way for folks just like you to get the cash you need to enjoy your retirement.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free. Call 1-800-661-0312 now.
AAG, the best advice for a better life.
Are you missing out on life because you're putting off neck or back surgery? Call Laser Spine Institute, the leader in minimally invasive spine surgery, to learn how a less than 1-inch incision can have you up and walking within a few hours of surgery, free from chronic back pain, and with no hospital stay and no lengthy recovery. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with spinal stenosis, bulging or herniated disc, sciatica, or other chronic conditions, call today for your MRI review.
There were times my boss would send me home because I was in excruciating pain. Going to Laser Spine Institute, I go in, I have the procedure, and walk out a changed person, good to go back to work. I can't tell you how much happier I am. It's changed my life completely.
If you've been told you might need neck or back surgery, call 1-855-450-BACK for your MRI review.
Laser Spine Institute, a less than 1-inch incision, a lifetime of standing tall.
Welcome back. Starting to see those storms now push into Georgia as well. And take a look at live radar. Look at these lightning strikes. Over 7,200 lightning strikes here within the past 15 minutes, moving across the Alabama border, approaching Atlanta's doorsteps. In fact, there are a number now of significant weather advisories out for heavy lightning in some of these western counties just outside of Atlanta as well. Heard County, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. This includes Central Hatchie, Franklin, and Texas. This goes until 3:15 local time. We're looking at winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. Certainly the lightning being a big issue, and could see a little hail squeak out of this as well. As we track this one out, looking at a 241 arrival for Yellow Dirt, Cooksville 252 for you by Arnico Mills at 3:11 in the afternoon. So seeing this line of storms really holding together all the way from LaGrange, Georgia through Newnan and Villa Rica. Again, all of this just west of Atlanta, Carroll, Coweta, and Heard counties. Your warning for flash flooding, another issue associated with this severe weather, goes until 8 o'clock tonight. For the Atlanta forecast, we'll continue to see these storms push through this afternoon. Unfortunately, maybe as some of you are getting off of work and trying to get out on the roadways, heavy storms are expected at 5, 6, 7 o'clock tonight, and we'll continue to see those hit or miss storms continuing in through the late night hours into the early morning hours overnight as well. One more warning to talk about. This is a thunderstorm warning for Randolph and Terrell counties. This goes until 3 o'clock local time, so this would be just to the west of Dawson. And as we track that out, looking like it will hit Weston at 246, Parrott at 251, and we have Center Point at 256. Again, a dangerous line of storms. Be very careful. Nick?
And did you hear about this? Florida got in on the severe weather action over the holiday weekend as well. We're talking trouble from the skies and from the waves. NBC's Mark Potter shares the horror that beachgoers got when they spotted trouble in the sky and saw a bounce house fly through the air with several kids inside.
On a cloudy and windy day in Fort Lauderdale, a crowd of beachgoers was surprised and excited to see a rare sight. A waterspout formed in the Atlantic actually coming ashore right in front of them.
Tornado.
At first, there was laughter as the spinning winds chased a canopy down the beach. Quickly, it all turned serious as the winds flipped over, then lifted up 2 inflatable bounce houses, one with 3 children inside. Police say the children were as high as 15 to 20 feet in the air when they were ejected onto the sand.
The bounce house continued to travel across the parking lot, through the median, and onto the southbound lanes of A1A.
It was horrible. It was like a movie that was happening in front of my face.
2 of the children with minor fractures have been released from the hospital. One is being held for observation. Shamoya Ferguson's daughter and stepson were in the bounce house.
I was crying.
Yeah, she was crying.
I was crying and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I can't believe this. And it was like, oh, and I said, she's going to be okay, she's going to be okay.
Also, all along Florida's East Coast, more than 150 swimmers had to be rescued after getting caught in powerful rip currents. At least 5 have been killed since the weekend. Stiff winds, rough seas, and a waterspout making for dangerous holiday conditions on the Florida beaches. Mark Potter, NBC News.
We have an update on that story now. The waterspout moved onto land, becoming a tornado. The preliminary rating, an EF0. It was a rough weekend to hit the beach along Florida's coast. Officials in Volusia County reported more than 300 people running into trouble with rip currents and rough water. Well, in addition to that bounce house incident there around Fort Lauderdale, injuring 4 children, we had 1 fatality, 1 death occur from a rip current here near India Atlantic. 2 people were injured from rip currents. 10 people were rescued here on Jacksonville Beach, and 2 injuries there from rip currents over the weekend as well. Unfortunately, it looks as if we're going to see more high rip current risks here along the east coast of Florida. With those very gusty easterly winds coming in, you need to stay out of the water unless you're as strong as a swimmer.
What's up with your car?
Pretty sure it's possessed and out of warranty.
I'm going to cost you a fortune at the dealership, Cheryl. Well, at Midas, our experts will tell you what needs fixing now and what can wait. And they don't laugh at people. I'm sorry, Cheryl. No, I'm not. I am not sorry at all.
Get the Midas Touch maintenance package with oil change, tire rotation, and more. Use your Midas credit card and get a rebate of $20. Go to Midas.com to make an appointment. Trust the Midas Touch.
In a matter of seconds, your life can change.
My kid's still in school.
And it just hit us.
This was it.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program is back.
Things are just going everywhere. It was a nightmare. And then it was silent.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees, under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun. High 87. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Oh, this audit will take days. What a headache.
Actually, I don't have a headache anymore. Excedrin really does work fast.
In fact, for some, relief starts in just 15 minutes. Excedrin.
Wow, that was fast.
I take Prilosec OTC each morning for my frequent heartburn. Because it gives me zero heartburn.
Prilosec OTC, the #1 doctor-recommended frequent heartburn medicine for 9 straight years. 1 pill each morning, 24 hours, zero heartburn.
What makes Lay's Kitchen different from the rest? We pride ourselves on bold, authentic flavors with the finest ingredients. Our vegetables are farm-grown and prepared with the passion they deserve. Tangy peppers unite with the sweetness of tomatoes and onions to create our exquisite mesquite barbecue flavor. The satisfying crunch and rich flavors of Lay's kettle-cooked chips. One taste, and you're in love.
73% of Americans try to cook healthy meals, yet up to 90% fall short in getting key nutrients from food alone. Let's do more. Add One A Day Men's 50 Plus, complete with key nutrients we may need. Plus, it helps support healthy blood pressure with vitamin D and magnesium.
Let's do this. Let's move outdoors for the next few months. Let's build a kitchen under the clouds. A dining room with no walls, no ceiling. Let's put it all together. Then, let's get together. A lot. Let's do this. Earth Grow Mulch or Miracle Grow Garden Soil, your choice, just 4 for $10. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
As the host of a popular home improvement show, I know a lot about finding a great contractor for home repairs and improvement projects. Now there's HomeAdvisor.com, a free service that matches your project to top local service professionals.
We didn't have to do any work other than say what we needed.
Just 1, 2, 3, I found my guy and everything was smooth.
And it's always free to use.
We've had nothing but fabulous every single time.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com now to get started on your next project.
Home Advisor.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
One look at that Red Baron pizza, and you're gonna love it from the first bite to the last. Because a perfect pizza requires a perfect crust. The sauce commands your attention. The cheese begs you to savor every bite. The pepperoni declares you have reached pizza nirvana. And that last slice?
What's it worth to you?
A perfect crust means a better pizza. Red Baron, love at first bite. The authentic taste of a brick oven pizza, now available from Red Baron.
Tomorrow morning, we're tracking the historic flooding in Texas and the destruction it's creating. Wake up with Al on AMHQ tomorrow morning, starting at 5 Eastern, right here on the Weather Channel.
The thunderstorms last night were in Texas, producing all kinds of flooding. Now they're in Alabama and Georgia, producing severe weather. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for Heard County in Georgia, just getting pounded north of LaGrange here in southwestern Georgia with hail. We've had reports of hail coming down for as long as 5 minutes, some large hail here. We need to be on our guard as this storm continues to push off toward the northeast into Franklin by 254, into Whispering Pines by 256, Stallings Crossroad by 313. Hail size of 1 inch estimated by Doppler radar. We also have flash flooding ongoing here in Carroll, Coweta, and Heard counties. Carrollton, Villa Rica, and Winston are the primary recipients here west of the Atlanta area. Of all this rainfall, we could see as much as 3 inches of rain as storms just train over the same area again and again. So we might see ponding of water on roads. We might see swift rising rivers and streams here too around the Atlanta area. All the way through the afternoon hours and into the evening hours too, we might see storms off and on. So be on guard. We could see some flash flooding from these thunderstorms as well as dangerous lightning. Numerous reports of dangerous lightning throughout the state. Now we've got more severe weather possibilities here into Texas and into Oklahoma. This could include isolated tornadoes. Hail and damaging winds will be a big threat. A 4 on the Torcon there in portions of Oklahoma. A 4 also in central Texas. A 4 in 10 chance within a 50-mile radius of more tornadoes today. Julie?
As we've seen in Wimberley, Austin, and Houston, Texas, relentless rain can turn waterways into raging fury. Sam Champion shows us the power of floodwater in this edition of Brainstorm.
River flooding can occur when a waterway is overwhelmed by a high volume of new water from either snowmelt or rain. It's a volume of water that can't be transported downstream fast enough, and the river can then exceed the capacity of its channel for an area known as the floodplain. And spring rainstorms can be particularly flood triggering. With massive individual storms able to dump the rainfall equivalent of half the water in the Great Salt Lake in just a few days, the influx of water can raise the levels of some rivers as fast as 2 feet per hour until they can't handle it anymore and simply overflow. And then there's just the sheer number of streams and rivers. The United States alone has about 3.5 million miles of them, and their combined length alone is about 140 times longer than the Earth's actual circumference. That means that even if the average floodplain spanned just 50 yards, and they can be much bigger, the total area of all these flood zones in the country would be twice the size of New England. And as you know, floodwaters can be dangerous too, especially if the water hits a downslope. That allows it to gain speed. And because water weighs over 60 pounds per cubic foot, it can travel as fast as 6 miles an hour on a slope that's barely noticeable. And that's why even 6 inches of moving water can surprisingly knock you off your feet. And listen to this. In just 2 feet of water, a stalled car can be pushed downstream. In fact, each vertical foot of water can add 3,000 pounds of total lateral force to an object the size of your average car. In an effort to prevent this flooding, sometimes levees are built. They're walls or embankments that are supposed to keep rivers in their channel. The Mississippi River alone is lined by 1,600 miles of levees. They average almost 25 feet in height. So if you were just driving the Mississippi's levees, it would be longer than the drive from Miami to Boston. And now you've been brainstormed. Sam Champion, The Weather Channel.
Well, we continue to follow the flooding problems in Houston. The flash flood warnings are beginning to be canceled, but there's still some that have been extended.
Yeah, take a look at the situation now, courtesy of our affiliate KPRC. This is an aerial view that we are seeing still tremendous amounts of water here in the downtown Houston area. Gosh, it's just hard to even put this into words, isn't it?
Currently in our area, 87 degrees, under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, a mix of clouds and sun, high 87, winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.